Here to talk about murder number 3 for 2016. On March 15th at approximately 11:22 p.m., officers responded to an assault in the 500 block of West Avenue. The victim of that assault was on the ground and unconscious. He was identified as Jerry Summers. Mr. Summers was pushed by the suspect, who was also still on scene. He was identified as Spencer Carlton. After the push, Summers lost his balance, hit his head on the parking lot, lost consciousness, and never regained it. On Monday, March 21st, Summers died as a result of the injuries he sustained from that fall. An autopsy was performed and the death was ruled as a homicide, with the cause of death being the blunt head trauma. The story is that both males had been inside the Dogwood Bar on East 6th Street. Carlton, who was on the scene, told officers that he approached Mr. Summers because he was mad because Summers had grabbed his wife's breast in the bar. The wife was on scene and confirmed that happened. Detectives have gone back to the bar, and video from the bar confirms and is consistent with those accounts. You can see on the bar where Mr. Carlton walks by Mrs. Summers and reaches out, and it appears on video that he does grab one of her breasts. So Texas law is pretty straightforward when it comes to an assault. Touching somebody that is offensive and threatening is an assault. Texas law also gives you the ability to defend yourself or others during an assault. What Texas law does not give you is the ability to retaliate, to pursue someone who has fled after committing an assault and use force against them. That's what Mr. Carlton did in this case, and so his push resulted in the death of Mr. Summers. And so he's now been charged with manslaughter, which is a second-degree felony.
So to clarify there, what you're saying is, had in the act of touching his wife's breast, he pushed him at that point.
Correct.
And he fell and he hit his head and subsequently died, then he would not be charged with manslaughter today.
He more than likely would not. That's a more defensible position than what he's in right now. What people should do, and what we urge people to do, is call the police. That's what we get paid to do, is to deal with stuff like that. When you choose to pursue someone and act out of anger, then you're responsible for your actions when something like this happens.
I think a lot of people can relate to, something inappropriate happening in a bar,
right,
and getting a hot head or,
sure,
or getting upset about it, and might even feel for the person in this position who's being charged with
right,
manslaughter, that he was just doing his manly duty to protect, sure, his wife. What do you want to say to the people who think, I think he was right in doing what he did?
Well, again, like I said, you can have your own opinion on this, but the law's pretty clear. You are not allowed to use force on somebody in retaliation for an assault that they committed. So you shouldn't gamble with your own freedom and with another person's life, and you should see where the person goes, get a good description, maybe follow at a safe distance depending on the circumstances, and call us and let us deal with it appropriately.
The attorney for the person here charged with manslaughter, Mr. Carlton, said that the accounts of him plowing into the gentleman are not accurate. How would you describe the interaction? Was he plowing into him?
The interaction was based on witness accounts. The interaction was not caught on video. There is a video from the exterior of the bar that shows Mr. Carlton running away from the bar, but the actual encounter when it occurs is not captured on video. So, according to witnesses, though, Mr. Carlton ran through Mr. Summers, is the way it was described.
Justin, how many witnesses?
Right now, I can only think of 2. I don't know off the top of my head if there's more than that.
Can you explain to people again why you call it murder number 3, but
right,
then this person was charged with manslaughter? So
sure,
where is that? Explain kind of why that is.
Well, murder is when you intentionally. It's all about the mental state. If you intentionally kill somebody, you're charged with murder. It doesn't appear that Mr. Carlton intended to kill Mr. Summers, but his act of pushing him led to the death, and so that push was reckless and led to the death of the victim in this case, and so that's why it's manslaughter over murder. So it's all about the mental state at the time of the incident.
And I know that this happened, it looks like, during South by Southwest, where there's so many incidents going on, police breaking up different fights here
Right.
and there. I mean, is this just a reminder for you all of how quickly these situations can escalate? I mean, anything you want to add on that end?
Yeah, it is. And for people that go to South by Southwest or go to 6th Street, you're there to have a good time. You're not seeing things through the same lens that we're looking at things, because this type of incident happens all the time. It doesn't always result in somebody dying, so it doesn't make the press. But confrontations between people based on actions in bars happens every night on 6th Street. And so, it all comes down to everybody being responsible, having a good time, but being responsible so that everybody gets to go home without something like this happening.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks.